Hello, everybody. We're so excited for today's live stream with Grow with Google and Lazo. I'm joined by a special guest, founder and CEO Juan Manuel Barrero from Lazo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So happy to be here, and thanks a lot for organizing this type of workshop and streaming. Like for us, it's really a pleasure to be helping you, of course, to achieve your goals and of course tell a little bit about our story and how we're doing it.
Yeah, no, this is a dream come true. I know you all have been expanding more to the New York market. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York, and I've just been hearing about the amazing work you're doing for both Latam startups, US startups, and a lot in the Northeast. For those that don't know me, this is Yulkendi Valdez. I'm the new Grow with Google coach for the Northeast. So we're gonna talk a lot about the New York market, but also if you're calling in from other markets, you'll get tons of tips today. But before we get started, Juan, can you tell us more about yourself and share more about Lazo?
Perfect. Thanks so much. Again, mine. Okay, so I'm from Argentina originally. Before moving to the US 5 years ago, I scaled two services business. But I was an exchange student in Wisconsin when I was 17. Before that, so I went back to Argentina, studied for CPA, and I scaled two professional services businesses. So I had the experience of scaling CPA and lawyer firms. Like so, that was my previous businesses. The first one was for the agricultural businesses in Argentina, and the second one was for startups and VCs in Latin America. But then I realized that everything that I was doing, like I was all the time looking at the US market, how they were solving startup problems. So I started seeing that the market of for a founder was very fragmented. So and that's why we created Lazo, because normally when a founder starts a company, they incorporate with a company incorporation, company formation. Then they need to have like a some they start issuing some saves. Then they start like managing their cap table in a spreadsheet. Then they have a bookkeeping tool. Then they have a payroll tool. Then they have a lawyer. They have like a CPA to do their taxes. So everything was fragmented, and at the end is the founder of the owner of the company that is in the middle of all those kind of things, and it's a waste of time and of course a lot of money for those founders who needs to deal with all of that and who needs to deal also with those inefficiencies. And of course, imagine this: if you are wanted to raise capital or wanted to go for a debt into a bank and organizing all those kind of things, how much money then you have to spend on how many opportunities you can lose because you weren't ready for that. You weren't ready for a bank loan, or you weren't ready to fundraise. So the idea of creating the story of record of your company from day one, from incorporation, basic legal documents, the bookkeeping, the tax, the payroll, the financial statement, financial planning, everything in one single source of truth for the owner of the company, and becoming that copilot, becoming that partner that is with you in every decision that you need to make. So that's what is Lazo is. We help those companies with all those kind of things, not reinventing the wheel. We are not replacing any accounting tool. We are not replacing the payroll tools. We're just integrating and creating the layer of services with AI on top of that, with human experts and the speed of AI. So now a founder can have like an expert who can really support them when they need it, and also the speed of AI to solve and make decisions. So that's what is Lazo, and that's why how I ended up here moving to the US. I started in Miami, the company, and now I moved to New York, and I'm very happy to be working with you and collaborating and creating ecosystem with you.
Yes, and you've been part of the Google community for a while. That's how we met, through the Google for Startups family, and so it's exciting to now collaborate in this way with Grow with Google. For those of you that are watching, tune in. We're going to be doing a workshop of how Google tools can work well with the Lazo platform, which is a fantastic value add and opportunity. Juan, as you were speaking, Juan, I want to say sorry about Argentina in the World Cup. But just, just like putting our operations together, and finance, bookkeeping, it's a lot. It's like a sport, and it requires discipline, and you need a whole village behind you. And I'm glad that Lazo can provide that for founders that are starting out. So my question to you is, can you share a little bit more about a customer that you work with just this year, maybe from the New York market? Feel free to think about anyone that kind of comes to mind, and how were you able to support them?
Well, it's the different. We have different use cases where the founders can start like with us and working with us from incorporation. Then we can organize everything from the beginning, and the founder can start building the story of record from day one. So imagine then inviting your lawyer to our platform, and the lawyer can see every transaction that has been made in the company and can have the story of everything. They don't need to ask you. It's already all tracked and outed into our platform. So that is a use case that is perfect for us if they start incorporating with us. But if you haven't incorporated with us, you can upload your Google Drive to our platform directly from like, you don't need to, and we organize all that data room for you, all your document center, all the information about your company, your financial, your legal documents. We can integrate with the payroll, we can integrate with your accounting tool, and then we can start telling you what is your financial health score, your compliance health score, your legal intelligence health score. So we can start like letting you what you're missing in your journey and what you need to start solving. And then Lazo is kind of that right hand that you have there that is supporting you in all those things that you're missing, and we will help you to solve that. So basically, there has been many cases that founders were like fundraising, and they need, like, for example, the financial statement to present it to an investor. And then of course you just, if you upload all the data with us, we can more quickly than probably most of the others, CPAs or advisor for startups, we can do like a work much more quickly because we have AI empowering our professionals. So that's a typical case that like you have a due diligence from an investor, and then we can act much faster to give you that information that you need to present to investors when you're fundraising, for example.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it sounds easy, right? Getting organized, having all your incorporation documents together. But I mean, I'm an entrepreneur myself,
Uh,
and I get it. I freak out every time tax seasons are on the corner. Like, where's my documents? Now we
no,
have.
and I'm a founder. I hate taking care of about my bookkeeping. I don't want to spend any minutes in my bookkeeping, in my taxes, in any. I just want to have like a summary of everything if I need to know about it, and that's it. So imagine like if you're a founder, instead of spending your time in growing traction, meeting investors, you're just spending a lot of time on putting all these kind of things together, talking to CPAs, talking to financial advisors, and everything. So like the time of the founder is so important that you don't want to be spending all those time. I don't want to do it, so I can also put in the foot of and the shoes of the founder, and I can say, okay, how can we make their life much easier, and put in the information ready there to share,
Yeah, well said, Juan. And jumping into, I want to hear more advice from you, and thinking through when small businesses and early stage companies start growing in a hub like New York or in Miami, where you were based previously. Cash burn is enemy number one. Founders often make the mistake of hiring expensive local accountants or legal counsel too early. Hey, I've did that for my first business. I'm guilty. I try to outsource building my first profit and loss statement by balance sheets because I hate numbers, y'all. And I remember paying like $5,000. That could have been an extra month of runway. It was big, no mistake. I know better now. And obviously, there's tools like Lazo now to help. So I'm wondering, at what exact stage should a growing business stop managing their own back office chaos and start working with y'all? I ideally it's from the beginning, from incorporation, but do you have any thoughts about they should think about that as they scale?
Yes. What first of all, at the beginning you don't have a business so yet. So you're just validating, starting to find your first customers and everything. So you don't have traction, and you, even if you have 10 or 20 customers, SMBs, like you don't have a validated business yet. So you need to try to save your money for what is really important, is getting that traction, getting that validation. So you don't want to be spending a lot of money on lawyer and everything. So basically, is what the industry has become more relevant, is everything is more standard now. That's why the safe notes that of from YC and different documents and different standard of documentation that you just, it's good enough for you when you start. So if you start with the standard things, don't do things that they are not standard. So my recommendation is at the beginning, do the standard with Lazo, and then you. But from the day one, also, it's very important for founders to start building a relation of trust with a lawyer. You won't need a lawyer from day one because you need the standard documents. But whenever you need it for something important, you need to have someone who you can trust. So that's from at the beginning. But imagine, like, then the company start growing, and then I can have all my data at Lazo, all the transaction at Lazo. So then I can invite my lawyer to the platform, and the lawyer can see everything from the Lazo platform and can build all the documents and send all the documents and build everything at Lazo. So everything still remains at Lazo. But imagine you're just hiring a lawyer for a specific thing, and the lawyer, you don't need to tell the full story to the lawyer. It's just the lawyer is just inviting the lawyer to our platform, and our platform will give the context to the lawyer. It will give all the information that you want to share with the lawyer, ready there to have access, and you don't need to be just for just 2 hours of lawyer that you want to just hire a lawyer for a specific reason. Then that you're making the lawyer much more efficient, and those hours, those 2 hours that you are hiring the lawyer for, are gonna be in a better use. So, and then imagine, like, you're already a big company, you are just over 10, 20 million in revenue. Then you will hire probably a CFO, and then the CFO will come and say, okay, I have all the data here, why I'm gonna leave the data? So we are always like a solution to help you and to go with you in the entire journey. In different moments, we will be helping you in a different way, and not replacing the human. It's just integrating with the human and potentiating the human. Some part of the startup experts, you will get it into the Lazo platform. We are CPAs, we also have CFOs, but we are not a law firm. So you can invite the lawyer, or you can bring also your CFO. Even if you don't want to use CFO services from Lazo, you can bring your own CFO to our platform, and the CFO will have everything integrated. Because imagine you have the source of data, like I'm a CFO, a new CFO in your company, and I have the source of data of the accounting, the source of data of the data room, all the legal documents, the source of data of the cap table, the source of data of the payroll. But now it's like a platform that is connecting all those dots and creating one source of data that no one has been able to connect before, and also no one individually can give you the value that integrating all of them. So what we're building at Lazo is different agents that then they start like working together, and that's the AI component that will help the CFO, or will help the lawyer to do their work much better and much more efficient. So that's how I see the future now. But we believe that also you don't need like on the early stage, you just need to do more standard things, and as soon as you are like growing, there are a lot of fractional use of talent that you can start like leveraging. And also, of course, you can also leverage in advisors or things like that, they are also very useful. If you don't have the cash to pay a specific knowledge, but you can invite someone to join your company and to help you out with a specific need that you might have. So that's how I believe that companies needs to start growing. But the important thing is that AI now is letting us to build like the entire story of the company in one single source of truth. And it used to be everything so fragmented that the founder was there in the middle just trying to deal with all those experts, with all those SaaS that they're not wearing adding value to real like if I need to do my financials, QuickBooks is not enough. You need a bookkeeper and you need someone who can really build the financial statement. Now, putting that everything in one place is much easier than it used to be probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, thank you, Juan, for providing that level of strategic advice across different stages. And what I really like about Lazo is how you say you're not replacing the lawyers or the accountants. It's a mix of a powerful AI suite that is in your platform that works as a co-pilot for these experts that are part of your team or that you hire or that you work with. And I think is a bad assumption. Also, when we talk about AI, even as Google, we present a responsible framework where we say human in the loop, right? AI is meant to be a tool for you to save you time and money on those mundane tasks of organizing all your financial paperwork and synthesizing all that information. But ultimately, you, the founder, are in the driving seat. Your lawyers, your accountants, those experts in your team work together, and that's never going to go away, right? The power of the human ingenuity. As we wrap up, I want you all to look out for a special perk. Thank you, Lazo, is providing discount and opportunity to try out the platform in addition to other resources. So we will be highlighting that in the screen. But if you forget, just follow up and we'll make sure we get it to you. And then for the last question, and I know this is going to be hard to synthesize all the knowledge that you all have, but I wonder, what is the single best piece of advice that you have for entrepreneurs right now to protect their back office and avoid making operational mistakes early on?
I think in terms of back office, it's just building your back office correctly. It won't create enterprise value of your company. It won't generate revenue. It won't generate like a better product, which those things are the one who creates enterprise value. But not taking care of your back office on your early days, it will cost you a lot of money, and also it will probably make you to lose a lot of opportunities of fundraising or opportunities to grow. So today is so cheap to do it in a right matter, a right way. So I think my advice is just starting with your right partner to help you with that, because you spending a lot of time, or maybe 2 hours, 4 hours a week, 8 hours a week, but using that time and putting one more thing in your mind and not doing correctly, instead of doing correctly from day one, I it's already validated that it's much cheaper to use like someone who can help you. And it's normal, because first of all, you're like, you don't have money and you don't want to waste, you don't want to spend any money on anything. But it's just sometimes your time is much valuable, that you are just use those hours to find one more customer, instead of like using that time of trying to solve your QuickBooks and understand how to do your payroll or understand how to file your taxes. So I think it's just having like a trusted partner is so important, because it's not anymore very very expensive. So it used to be very expensive, and now it's much more accessible for everyone. So that would be my advice: is start like from day one, very well organized, because otherwise you will pay very expensive in the future.
That's great advice. Thank you, Juan, for being here this afternoon. Now we're going to transition to the workshop, but we'll make sure, again, both Lazo and Grow with Google can follow up with anyone watching or tuning into the recording with any resources. And if you have any follow-up questions for the Lazo team, I'm sure they'll make themselves available. They host amazing community events in New York and in other parts of the country. So definitely check out their website and get to know the team and try out their platform. Thank you, Juan.
Thanks so much for organizing. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Bye-bye. Right, I'll be sharing my slides now. Thank you so much. We're gonna jump right into it. Now, there's still, I imagine, that anxiety, like what do I need to have in place for my financials, for your bookkeeping, legally, to have really good conversations with lawyers, with accountants, or as you interact with the Lazo platform, who's going to be helping you organize, make decisions around your business. And so today, the goal is to show you some Google tools that are mostly free. You can use with a personal Gmail account and can complement using a platform like Lazo. So let's jump into it. My name is Julkendi Valdez, for those that tune in later, and I'm a coach with Grow with Google, which means I spend a lot of time with entrepreneurs and aspiring business owners thinking through how to use AI to save them time and money in their daily operations, because our job shouldn't be doing invoicing, bookkeeping all day long, or sending emails. We're meant to be out there with our customers, building relationships, and also spending more time with our loved ones and stepping away and hopefully making money while we sleep. That's the goal. That's the idea. And by setting up AI systems, we can get closer to that reality of having more balance as busy entrepreneurs. So today we're going to talk a lot about Gemini Notebook in particular, which is an exciting Google tool, is our research assistant, where you can incorporate your own sources of truth and knowledge. Today's session, we're talking a lot about business sources and getting organized, and Notebook is a great tool to help you do that. And then we're going to talk about how this tool, Gemini Notebook, works well within Gemini, which is Google's AI assistant containing the best of its large language models. And it's the best of Google, has tons of multimodal capabilities and cool things you can do. You can even create your own custom assistants within Google's called Gem. I'm going to demo all of that for the remainder of the session. And please ask questions as you see things pop up and you have curiosity of how you can apply what you're seeing to your business. That's what I'm here for. And then also, Rome wasn't built in one day. That's what I say in all of my AI sessions. AI has been around since the 1950s, but just recently is accessible to us all. We don't need to have everything right. We're building the playbook as we go along. So the good thing is to build community. I always say with AI, don't gatekeep. As founders, be sharing with each other on how you're using these tools to save time for your business, because more likely someone, especially within their industry, knows something that can really help you, and vice versa. And again, I'll be taking Q&A through the comments, and I'll be checking and making sure you get some of your most urgent questions answered. All right. With Notebook, essentially how we think about it is a mini brain. It's like a duplicate of your brain, a clone. As you can imagine, as founders, we receive so much information on a given day, which is like forms from the IRS, invoices from customers. We're reviewing our profit and loss statements. We're looking at our quarterly revenue numbers and getting data from all types of sources. Notebook LM is a place where they can live. You can ask questions about it without having to review all these fragmented documents and make decisions about next quarter and what you might want to double down in terms of your marketing, where you can save money. And it's not only you. You can share this notebook with your employees, your customers, and you can all have access to one source of truth. And most importantly, as it regards to today, this can also help you with Lazo, and you can include your reports that you're getting from the team and be able to prepare and help you maximize the platform even more. Customers around the country are using Gemini Notebook, and it's already producing real-time savings, such as Mike from Chicago, Illinois, who runs an hospitality group. Let's take a look.
As a small business owner, my time is limited. So I use AI to help me create efficiencies throughout the business. Here's how I use AI to make communicating employee policies easier. In order for me to be efficient with my time, it was incumbent on me to find the resources available for my employees to have on hand. I would spend my time explaining and re-explaining policies and procedures to new employees. Previously, we'd have notebooks on site. Those would get lost. You'd have procedures you put in place that are then updated by the city of Chicago. I realized that Notebook LM would be an amazing tool to help with this issue. So we took the documents we already had existing in Google Drive. We would upload them straight into Notebook LM. Now we have 30, 40 different procedures and policies now in a notebook. From there, we send it off to employees. Now they can ask questions to Notebook LM directly. For example, if a new employee comes on board and asks, hey, how much time do we get up? What is the PTO policy? These things are kind of nuanced. It takes time to explain, but they can now ask the questions in Notebook, which is giving them answers based on the files that we uploaded. Now I can create the policy and get it out to people in a matter of minutes. I can't count how much time it's going to save me in the future.
Awesome. So that's one use case from Mike on how they're using Gemini Notebook around really for, as you can imagine, you might get a lot of repetitive questions from your staff, or when you're onboarding them and you have to train them. This is an easy way to put all your sources of employing training manuals, and instead of your employees coming to you for like, what's a PTO policy or what's the standard procedure for these customers, you can share essentially a notebook containing all those files, and then they can interact with that AI to get immediate responses, saving you time and saving the employees time so they can get back to work. But in the theme of today, we're actually going to talk about notebooks around financials and preparing for that. So here you can see some of my example notebooks. I'm going to go into this one for a seamless soiree. Is a demo company, is not my actual company, but just to showcase some of the features that Gemini Notebook is able to offer. So how it works, you simply click on creating a new notebook, and essentially you can add sources to this notebook, and you can add up to 50 sources or more. So it can contain lots of data here. You can upload files that are downloaded. So again, this might be your revenue numbers that are in a spreadsheet, or inventory management sheets, your business plan, any file, you can upload it here. You can upload websites or links. Let's say, for example, there's a YouTube video that has a webinar that you attended from a business organization that ran through bookkeeping practices, but you don't always want to rewatch that 60-minute webinar. You just want to make sure you can upload it in your notebook and always get back to your main insights. Or even better, let's say you took a course and there's recordings, you can put it in a notebook if it relates to your financials and best practices that you want to have for your particular industry. So that's easy as copy and pasting, and then they become part of your notebook. You can also add things directly from Drive. Obviously, one of the magics of working within Google Tools is that if you're working with a Gemini Notebook, it is connected to our G Suite and other apps in Google, like Google Drive. So it's very much connected, and it's easy to add those files. And guess what? As you're adding them, you can easily sync them. So if you make a revision on your Google Doc document that contains, let's say, your product database and your latest on your products and services, when you make an edit on Google Drive, you just click an automatic sync button, and then it will contain the latest data here in Gemini Notebook, which is very, very cool. But also you can copy and paste. So let's say, for example, you are talking to your accountant, or Lazo send you specific instructions through their platform as you interact with their tools. You can copy and paste advice that you got and recommendations or anything that relates to your business, and then that becomes part of your notebook. So the sources are really versatile. You can click them on and off if they're not relevant, or if you don't want to ask questions about a particular source, you can unclick it. Another cool tool is, let's say you do want to give it a little bit more power to help you find sources. And the reason I say that is because often small business owners love Notebook because they control the sources. That means we avoid hallucination or avoid AI slop, because everything that the AI here, Gemini, gives us is cited, is based on our sources of truth. It's not going into his wide data set and giving us stuff relevant to other industry or other companies. Is our company's truth. But let's say we do need help with research and documentation. You can actually do that research with Notebook by either doing a quick research, fast research, or deep research if you're looking at a deep industry dive. And it goes into the web for you and can help you circulate those sources. Why would it need? Let's say for Seamless Soiree, this company, they're in events industry. They're in the hospitality industry, similar to Mike's company that you saw, which is a real customer for Chicago. You can go in and say, can you help me search the latest insights around financials and bookkeeping for the hospitality industry. Let's say you just want some quick nuggets on how to best organize yourself in that space. We're not going to do deep research for that one. We're just going to do fast research. And there's researching sources that you can add for your own notebook, especially if you want to stay up to date with industry trends. But let's say, hey, you're like, I don't trust, let's view all the sources here. You might trust this website here, One FAQ, and you can go here and it goes in a different tab and you can actually see what it came up for you. Came up with a FAQ from an organization. Let's say you don't trust that, you can unclick it. It doesn't have to be part of your notebook or your sources of truth. So you can really pick and be really intentional about what do you trust as a business owner. You're in control, not the AI in this case. For now, I am not going to import anything into my notebook. I'm going to decide to delete these sources, and I'm going to stick with the ones that I currently uploaded. And essentially then what you're able to do that once you create a notebook with your sources of truth is ask very specific questions to help you make decisions. Like, for example, did we hit our Q2 goal of keeping monthly net burn under 25,000? Instead of reviewing all your records, it was able to dig into a Lazo report that we got, and as well as some of the materials about my business, and says, yes, you successfully hit your Q2 goal, and it's able to give me details, and essentially it cites where it's coming from. It's cited, it's coming from a Lazo report. So you can see exactly where the AI is getting his information, which is really helpful, and the specific numbers that is referring to. You can even dig down and say, hey, are there any tax or compliance risk that I should be worrying about? Again, instead of taking hours to review documents, I get confused. I hate that. And so I can now have my notebook. It can read 100 pages, go through videos, and answer questions about my business and compliance risk. So you can continue and have that conversation. And then it can actually create even, let's say, if you're preparing for to meet with your accountant or an investor or a bank, it can actually then write those updates for you to help you communicate and be prepared. Let's say you already have a lot of back-to-back meetings. I'm busy. Can you just give me a summary of my latest financials that I can have a good conversation and maximize? Because, lawyers are paid for the hours, accountants are paid for the hours, etc. So it's able to help you do that and create really, really good prep material for you. And then as you see now, as it gets to know you and you ask certain questions, it can say, hey, what do you want to know about now? Is it IRS penalties that are related to your 1099 contractors and so forth? Now I'm going to go into even more exciting part of Notebook, which is what you see here in the right, my right, Studio. And here you can create amazing collateral for your business based on the information, either to help you study up faster, or some of them can even things that you share as in meetings with your accountants, with your investors, with your other team, like really cool financial briefs. An example of things that you can just do for your own learning. As you see here, I created some audio podcasts. As I mentioned earlier in the session, I am really bad with numbers. So I told Gemini Notebook to break it down like I'm a fifth grader because sometimes I get caught up in all the terms. So using the sources that I created is able to do that for me. So here I'm going to play one of the.
Running a restaurant means razor thin margins and
Actually, I got ahead of myself. This one is actually a really cool video that is now also able to create really educational videos. I'll share with you the audio next.
Constantly rising labor costs, but the industry gets exclusive tax breaks. Here, running a restaurant means razor thin margins and constantly rising labor costs, but the industry gets exclusive tax breaks. Here is the ultimate year-end checklist to review with your CPA. First up, never record your gross bank deposits as pure revenue. If you don't separate collected sales tax and delivery app fees, you create phantom income, and you end up paying income taxes.
Let's say you like and you want to share with your employees, you can share specific collateral, just like a Google Doc, which is really cool. And again, this is not a general marketing educational video. It's using the sources that I gave it. So I trust the advice. It can use the advice that Lazo gave you from the platform to create it. So it's very, very useful. Let me actually show you next the audios that I was talking about. I even have some in Spanish because I can share it with folks that prefer that language. So if you have a multilingual employee base or you work with folks or you yourself, I sometimes think in Spanish. So I want to hear about this in Spanish, and you can create these materials in pretty much a lot of languages.
Que compramos un centro de mesa decorativo súper bonito por $100 a un mayorista.
De acuerdo. El coste directo para la empresa es de $100.
And again, that was more like a Spanish accent. You can also play around with the dialects and stuff, which can be really, really cool. And another step up, you can actually interact with the AI here. You can go on, you see this hand on interactive mode. So I created this one when I was preparing to file my business taxes a few months ago. And I can actually ask Gemini questions within Notebook about what it's telling me or how it wants to educate me in this topic. In this case, the new IRS regulations from the Small Business Administration.
If you've been running a business for, more than a few months, you probably already know that your balance sheet is not just some passive record of what's in the bank.
Oh, definitely not. It's highly active.
Right. It is essentially this psychological, oh, hey there, what's up?
So see, it recognizes you can interrupt and then be able to ask it questions like, hey, can you get to the point and help me understand how I can make more money next quarter?
Hey, I hear you. Let's cut right to the chase and talk about your bottom line.
It's a fair request. Making more money next quarter starts with looking at your internal data.
Exactly. For instance, have you looked at the
Isn't that cool? Having conversations with non-humans. They're pretty funny though. And again, what they're telling you is the truth, because it's your truth. You're controlling these sources to get these documents. So these are really cool ways to get prepared around your financials, around your bookkeeping, around your business strategy as you coordinate with different stakeholders like the Lazo platform, like your accountants, like your bookkeepers, etc., to make it all work for you. And again, this is something that is all for free. You can use your personal Gmail account. You can actually share the notebook with your accountant and your lawyer as well. And they can also interact with the same source of truth. And you can have other overlapping notebooks about different topics. So for example, I have one to help me apply for grants. These RFP documents can be 150 pages. You can forget the criteria. I can ask it, what is the criteria to apply, and best practices, and so forth. So you can have a notebook for a lot of these things that take up a lot of your time, and now you can have a centralized data source. All righty. As I finish up, just want to make sure. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Rosa. If there's any questions that you have, I do appreciate all the kind feedback and tuning in. We'll have more. So just keep following the LinkedIn and also the Grow with Google resources that I'm about to share as we wrap up. All right. Let me go back to the deck here. All right. Do it. All right. When using things like Notebook, what we're hearing from customers, even something as simple as creating this digital notebook with your own sources of truth is allowing you to have real-time savings, about 13 hours a week. So take some time. I have a notebook to help me with my sales and storing all my proposals. It can help you analyze customer review, notes. I also use it honestly for newsletters and articles and white papers. So I'm in the know about my business. And sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to read that later, or I'm afraid to lose that amazing information. Just put it in your notebook and chat with it and learn when you have time. So that's something that I'm really doing that's working for me in my own business. And I always encourage others to do. But again, as you use these tools, assess your own privacy, like your accuracy bias. Obviously, with Notebook, you're maximizing that you're getting a real good personalized AI output because these are your own sources. But as you think about who you share it with, follow your own comfort first. Obviously, I always say, with your personal Gmail free account, you get a lot of it. You get even more privacy if it's connected to a paid workspace account, and we have Gemini business notebooks that are connected to that. So you are in the driving wheel. Just we want to make sure that you feel good about it. But the good thing about it being part of the Google ecosystem is, like, if you're comfortable using Gmail, Sheets, you're gonna get that same privacy with Notebook. And then consider the effects of using AI, when to use it and not use it. We always say at Grow with Google, start with a list of your daily workflows. What's taking time? What's annoying? And think about what you want to outsource to an AI, or versus what you want to outsource to a human. That's your choice. You make the strategy. And then Notebook works even better when you tell others about it, when you share it to your employees. So it's not only you going to a notebook asking it questions, it's your colleague or your peer as well that's able to get answers quickly because they have access to the same amount of knowledge that you now do without an email back and forth. So again, if you love a little bit of today's session, you're going to love our free courses via Coursera. Today, we didn't get to talk about prompting. Even with something like Notebook, prompting is key to get the best output. Let me go here really quickly to show you that. When you're creating videos, these informational videos that I show you, it asks you for a prompt. It helps you a little bit. You can also click in terms of what you want, and it even gives you tags. Prompting is made easier, but still, it's important to give it really good instructions to get it what you want. Same when you're creating the audio podcast as well. You're able to click, do you want a brief, a critique, a debate, which is really fun, the length, the language, as I talked about, but also you have to prompt it to make sure that collateral works for you. So definitely take more courses around prompting and AI essentials in Coursera. Go through those links. And then we also have amazing Google career certificates. So a lot of you that are considering starting businesses and want to first make sure that you grow your skills in a particular area, this could be perfect for you. So definitely check them out as well. We hear great things about the certificates. And then if you're just a YouTube person and want to be on the know of new features, which are coming out like every week, even with Gemini Notebook, the video feature is pretty recent. So any given week is just getting stronger and better. So you can do really cool things with it for your business. So check out our YouTube where we're constantly uploading updates, and you can learn more about the Grow with Google ecosystem. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream. I'm sure I'll see you around, and I hope you took something away from Lazo and then from Gemini Notebook on how to help you set up your back office and to help you with finances, bookkeeping, and all those nitty-gritty things that can take up a lot of time but can now be made way easier with AI. Have a fantastic rest of your week.